out.
Fox News alert, just about 10 minutes ago, we received reports of a major lead, into the possible bugging of Mitch McConnell's campaign office in Kentucky. Jacob Conway is on the executive committee of the Jefferson County Democratic Party. And he earlier told a local radio station in Kentucky, WFPL, that members of a liberal activist group, a PAC, bragged to him that they had made the tape recordings without Senator McConnell's consent. That man, Jacob Conway, is joining me now by phone. Jacob, thank you very much for being here. So you are on the executive committee of the Jefferson County Democratic Party, and you ran into two men who founded a left-wing PAC that has been opposing Senator McConnell in his efforts for re-election. And what did they tell you about this recording?
Well, they happen to be friends of mine, or were friends of mine, I guess. But they mentioned that they were there, just like I told WFPL here locally, that they were there. I don't know why they were at the grand opening of his campaign office, but they were there after the event had ended, and were in the hallway, and they overheard the conversation going on, which I know it doesn't. To me, it was an extremely tacky conversation. They said very tasteless things that the McConnell campaign did. But it was a private conversation nonetheless. And when I guess they heard all the tasteless and offensive and tacky things that the McConnell campaign was discussing, they decided to record it. And they told me about that later that day, and either later that day or the next day. I don't really remember because it was a couple months ago. But they told me about it, and I didn't think anything of it. I didn't really, I didn't think that it was anything other than, some people who were trying who are not affiliated with the local party or the state party or they're trying to do something totally separate, and, they just mentioned that they were doing this and they got all excited about it. So,
now, just to clear the record up, you're talking about a man named Sean Riley and a man named Curtis Morrison. That's what you told WFPL?
That is what I told WFPL.
And they founded this super PAC. As I understand, it's a super PAC, Progress Kentucky?
Yes, ma'am. Sean was actually the founder of it. But, that was, yes, ma'am, that's true.
Okay, and so what you're telling me is they directly admitted to you that they tape recorded Senator McConnell and his campaign aides in those campaign headquarters.
They told me they were there. They told me they were in the hallway. They have a recording. So, you can draw your own conclusions.
And now that this story has broken, and Mother Jones Magazine, so our viewers are up to speed, is the one that leaked, that published the leaked tapes of what went on inside this campaign meeting. Now the FBI is involved, and the U.S. Attorney is looking into this, we're told. And this has become a potential criminal matter because in Kentucky it is illegal, as it is in most states, to tape record someone unless one party to the actual conversation has consented, which did not happen here. Senator McConnell.
We don't know that. Ms. Kelly, we don't know that. We don't know that someone else in the room didn't know it was being taped. Because
the end of my sentence was Senator McConnell's office says.
Right. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I apologize.
Sure, no worries. So he is claiming that this was a bugging. Mother Jones Magazine has come out and said, as we understand it, this was not a, quote, Watergate-style bugging, which if it happened the way you're saying these guys claimed it happened, it wouldn't be Watergate-style. No one was lurking outside of the Watergate offices. They actually did bug the offices, as opposed to what you're telling me Curtis and or Riley and Morrison said happened here.
Yes, it was not. From my understanding of the events at hand in question, were not the story. It was not a bugging by what you and I would consider that, Nixonian bugging or something. I mean, that's a little over dramatic, which our senior senator has had a long flair for the over dramatic.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously upset because there's lots of reasons why he's upset. But now the FBI is involved. Have they talked to you, Jacob?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I have not been. The FBI has not spoken to me. I was really called by WFPL, which is the local NPR affiliate here in Louisville, because they were, it was starting to come out from what the reporter told me. It was starting to come out as to who the people were, and wanted as a party official, I felt it was the McConnell campaign is going to try to tie the Democratic Party here locally and on the state level and nationally, and they already have, to Progress Kentucky. And the only reason that I came forward with what I knew was I was trying to protect the Democratic Party. Mm-hmm. And, I believe in our party's values, and I was doing what I thought was best for the party because I did not want their bad behavior, their poor mistakes. I shouldn't say bad behavior. Their mistakes, their lack of judgment to hurt our party's efforts here in the state of Kentucky and in Jefferson County, here in Louisville.
Have you had any reaction from Riley or Morrison since that they disclosed to you that they tape recorded this meeting?
No, ma'am. In fact, apparently y'all called right as soon as WFPL broke the story.
And did they say that it was just one time they taped the meeting?
That's all they told me.
And did they say how they did it, just with a tape recorder outside the office?
I can only assume that, iPhones have tape recorder. You can record a lot of things nowadays with tape recorders or iPhones or anything like that. So,
listen,
I don't know.
Jacob Conway, you're a Democratic official. You came forward and said what you know, and I'm sure the FBI will be grateful for the information, as are we. Thank you, sir. We'll be right